Work in the field of signal transduction research has elucidated major fundamental molecular mechanisms that cover the physiology of normal cells and allow insights into pathophysiological mechanisms of major human diseases such as cancer. For over 30 years, he has been a leader in gene technology, translating basic science discoveries into real medical applications. This led in the mid-80s to the development of human insulin for the treatment of diabetes, marketed by Lilly, the first therapeutic agent to be developed through gene-based technology, and the first biotechnology product ever. Another product that's based on his work is Herceptin, the first target-directed gene discovery-based cancer therapy for the treatment of metastatic breast carcinoma, marketed by Genentech and Roche. As an aside, Dr. Ullrich told me this morning that he was the 8th employee at Genentech, and actually has spent 20 years in the Bay Area. His third contribution to biomedicine was conceived on the basis of discoveries in his laboratory at Max Planck, and was developed by Pharmacia and Pfizer. It was approved by the FDA in 2006 for the treatment of gastrointestinal stromal tumors and renal cell carcinoma, and is marketed by Pfizer. He's received a number of distinguished international awards, including the Robert Koch Prize of the German Cancer Society, the Bruce F. Kane Memorial Award of the American Association of Cancer Research, the King Faisal Prize of Medicine, the Warren Alpert Prize of the Harvard Medical School, and recently in 2007, the Prince Mahidol Award of Thailand, and the AACR Pescalera Award for Cancer Research in 2008. This last statistic I find really sort of incredible. His scientific work has been published in more than 500 articles, and his work has been cited in over 800,000 citations, making him one of the 10 most cited scientists over the past 25 years. So we are indeed greatly honored to have him, and I will tell you that also he told me this morning he flew in just yesterday and is flying out this afternoon for another meeting, so we greatly appreciate the commitment that he's shown for being here. Dr. Ullrich, thank you.
Thank you very much for this kind introduction, and thank all of you that you have still stayed. So otherwise I would have made this trip just for nothing, so thank you. Actually, I'm here representing the Max Planck Society. Our president, Peter Cruz, has asked me to come and tell a little bit about the Max Planck Society and an example of what can happen in the research institutes of the Max Planck Society. I will give you an example that was already mentioned now. But I don't want to start before thanking also the organizers, Jane Teague and others, for organizing this conference and inviting me and letting me give a keynote lecture. So I want to talk about cancer, not about IT, even though of course every scientist today, and I'm a fossil. I've started my career at a time when there were no personal computers, so you have to realize that can be done without. And the other thing that I want to say, especially after I heard some comments here, some things cannot be done by IT and by high throughput, by computers. The human mind is not replaceable, and structures of molecules are not the answer to everything. So let me just, Max Planck Society is the premier basic research organization, not only in the life sciences, all sciences. And it's already, if one really goes back to the origins, 100 years old. Started with people like Albert Einstein and Rudolf Virchow and others at the beginning of the 19th century, 20th century. So an old organization which was reorganized after World War II and renamed to Max Planck Society. As I said, basic research, it really was the representation of ivory tower research, and applications were rarely on the mind of Max Planck scientists, but this has changed radically, and therefore I want to give you some examples. Max Planck, out of Max Planck, and I started the first company out of the Max Planck Society. In the meantime, about 80 startups since 1991 came out of the Max Planck Society. They were largely funded by VC money. 7 of them are listed on the stock market, and about 2,200 jobs were created, lots of patents that are the basis of these companies. And right now we have a license income of about $20 million per year, which is not spread over many products, but 1 or 2 are creating a lot. So Max Planck Society has, over the years, always produced lots of patents, in average about 100 patents a year. And this, one has to see that part of the background of that we're not really an applied research society. There's the so-called Fraunhofer Society, which is really the German application-oriented research organization. Now, nevertheless, the Max Planck Society has a technology transfer agency and a patent administration agency called now Max Planck Innovation. And here in the middle, this you can see that Max Planck Innovation is sort of taking a place between scientists, between companies that were spun out of the Max Planck Society, and license takers, licensees. And it has been founded already in the 60s, one of the tech transfer companies worldwide with the most experience in this kind of business. They do their best to coach the startups that are founded by Max Planck scientists, and I won't go through all the details because of the time limitations, but you can also see here on this graph that the number of startups that are created every year sort of peaked around the time when the biotech market crashed, sort of around 2001, and went then down, still sort of a little depressed. Nevertheless, a few very brave minds are not giving up and still starting company, but there's a lot more selection for the real good ones in Germany. I said most of that already. So, but interestingly, most of the license income comes from the